You know what's really tripped out is how basically YouTube has declared war on any kind of black information that challenges the status quo. Professor Black Truth did a thorough and amazing job basically giving you an art history lesson that I think was not only unique but also very informative in how in tying in basically certain definitions of words like fascism with fasces, and it was in the right context too. But for some reason, YouTube had a problem with his video on art history and how basically George Washington was not only declared as sort of Roman, which is funny because the English were enslaved by Romans, um, and wasn't George Washington of English descent? But not only depicting him as some kind of Roman like Caesar or whatever, but depicting him as a god, which really supposedly shows you what America deems as their pantheon or whatever. And Professor Black Truth exposed this, and just I think he did a great job. I don't know why that video was even messed with. It was nothing wrong with that video. Great art history, great history period within that video, and just the overall subject matter of how America pretty much deems their founding fathers as something other than what they are, mere man. And it's funny how America calls itself a Christian nation, but yet they have all these pagan idols, and this is one of them. They've deified evil people to be gods, and just people that have enslaved and murdered people and all that. George Washington is no hero. It's just to think about it. One of the things that came to mind, um, when I even think of like speaking of this nation claiming to be itself a Christian nation, they forget that verse in the Psalms. I need to look up that psalm. I forget. Basically, it says you are like gods. Notice the term like, but will die as men. And another thing that came to mind is Bad Brains' first album, the punk rock band from DC, one of my favorites. Now, people have been taking this album cover the wrong way because of the things that happened in 9/11, but this was made way before 9/11. This particular album cover right here, one of my favorite album covers, one of my favorite albums by this band. And the band explained this basically saying that there's no higher power than God himself. That's why that this logo and this album cover is the way that it is. It has nothing to do with terrorism at all. These people deem themselves as gods. You are no higher than the Most High. You will die like men, because you are a mere man. Professor Black Truth said the right thing. Ironically, the Bad Brains logo, the Bad Brains lightning bolt showing this is just showing how God has more power than any human being does. Ironically, Professor Black Truth has a lightning bolt right in his name. And he doesn't deify himself at all. I really admire his content. I don't know why they took that video down. Well, in a sense, I know why, but there was no reason for them to take that video down. It was a really great essay on not only art history itself, but also the history of this country and the mentality of this country and what it thinks itself to be in regards to just the world, really, you know, and especially within this country's framework and how they've set up this hierarchy, putting blacks on the bottom and themselves on the top. God's power is higher than them. You will try to be like the God that you think you are, but you will die like men. You are not immortal, you are immortal. I talk fast, you guys. That's why I had to catch myself so you wouldn't think I was saying immortal. You are immortal. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with some words from Professor Black Truth from his latest essay in regards to them unfairly taking his video off YouTube. You had a huge reach for that one, man. Seriously. There was no reason this video should have been taken down. God's power is higher than ours, higher than any mortal men, especially those that think that they are so godlike but do evil acts. Shouts to Professor Black Truth. Peace.
We will expose these historical frauds. We will point them out. People are going to be enlightened, but more importantly than that, they're going to be provoked. And that's what we want to do. We want to provoke people. Because it's way past time that people got sick and tired of seeing these obscenities, whether it's George Washington the God, or whether it's the white media prioritizing everyone but black people. It's way past time that we stopped just sitting on our hands for this. It is way past time that we stopped giving white supremacy a free ride. If they think to themselves that they're going to explain away the crimes of George Washington, or that they're going to explain away the crimes being enacted against black people today, we are supposed to be the ones who say, no chance, here it is. This is our mission. This is our hallowed struggle. We are not going to be having any black folks, at least no one like myself, who's going to be running around in Roman attire or anything like that, because I'm not here to try to get you to deify me. I'm not here to try to get you to put me on a pedestal or to elevate me to divine status. You couldn't make a statue of me even if you wanted to. How could you? You've never seen me. You see, that's what happens when somebody is operating in your interest and not their own. That's what happens when somebody is interested in the interests of the group and not self-serving. You've never seen Professor Black Truth saying, everyone get behind me! Me first! No, it's black first. I don't want you to have any sort of freaking paintings of me on someone's ceiling. I'd slap you in the face if you tried. First of all, it's a waste of time. That's time you could be spending fighting white supremacy. Yes, there is a place for imagery. Yes, there is a place for symbols. Yes, there is a place for iconography. But Professor Truth ain't it. We got plenty of heroes who deserve to have their image forever immortalized in stone or steel. But you're not going to see me saying it needs to be me. White supremacy is about trying to control your mind. I am about getting you to control your mind. I want you to wake up. I want you to become active. I want you to see the lies and the fascism all around you. Because the day when we actually come into our own is going to be the day when you have black people who have the power to unilaterally tear down all the satanic images of George Washington, to erase him from any place where his image may be, to finally bleach the ceiling of the Capitol building. And it doesn't matter how much whining, wailing, and caterwauling comes from this or that particular group of people. When we have the ability and the willingness to act in our own interest and to tear down anything that honors our oppressors, when we get to the point where we are proud to do it, when we take glee in hearing, oh, you can't do that, you're erasing our history. When we take glee and go, damn right we are. When we get to that point, when we've matured and grown to that point, when we make it a point that those who have committed historical sins against us are going to pay, and we will deny them the favorable judgment of history by erasing them from history, when we finally have matured to that point, then and only then can we say that black empowerment at long last has finally arrived.